I staged that. For dramatic effect. I'm gonna try this again. I'm not sure if it'll work. I never played the song through good. And I just did. So I thought maybe I could do it again. Boy, I never had it quiet. It's probably not close enough. They told me once, did not believe, hard-headed man just ain't too hard to bleed. Crying Aesop down my knees, flat on my face. God, what of me? I'm the dust at your feet. Won't take me, but just sit that girl, please. They told me twice, did not believe. Cold-hearted man ain't too easy to feed. Laughing Aesop up on her knee, without a trace. She scurried on up, grabbed her things on her way. Won't take me, but just say that girl, please. Told me 3 times, what can I say? I'm here alone and the girl's on her way. Can't touch her now, she's out of afraid. I'm all that's left, God, what of me? I'm the dust on your feet. Won't take me, but just say that girl, please. So I got the first 3 verses. I got 2 more. I gotta try to find a way to spice up the interlude, where normally a solo would be, but I'm one guy. But it's all about, yeah, it's all about Agnes, man. Aesop and Agnes. I've been trying to get to myself all weekend. Didn't expect to do it. While interfacing. But the world I want is the one where we all talk to ourselves the way we speak to ourselves at our best times. When we're being high-minded with ourselves in an unpretentious way, and we know it, and we can feel it. Like I feel the good prayer in me now, you know? I feel the good word at this moment. I don't want to lose it. For myself. For myself, you know? I guess one of the reasons why art in all its forms is so important, and the musical arts, from the most basic to the most complex, it's just like numbers. I'm still confounded. You know, I've spent several years on 1, 2, and 3. Once you get into 4, for some reason, this is a difficult song for me to make. One of the ones that require time, because I'm not a musician, but I like to play. But in some sense, I refuse to study music until I get to the exact geometry that makes it. And I know it's out there. I know if I saw it in one way, I'd be seeking the book that already tells it, you know? But I want to get to the reason why the music that we know as we know it, like, why is that it? Why is that it? That's a way. Is that the way? What other ways are there? If there are other cogent ways, then what is the governing principle behind all of them? Why 12 tones? Why 22 tones? Why 14 tones? Just intonation. I don't know, but I'm working on it. Why Agnes? Why Agnes? What better symbol, you know? We destroy ourselves by destroying that sweet, innocent part of ourselves. Sweet, sweet, sweet. I feel like a monster, you know? But I have that sweet, innocent thing still. Despite, you know, the bad things I've done and what I've perceived as bad things done to me. That aside, that sweet thing persists. And in all of us, imagine if that were to bloom authentically. Not just showcasing or grandstanding or the growth of that which protects it, but the environment between ourselves could happen that innocence blooms for real, in a place where it's, not only does it bloom, but blooms in a place where it's safe to bloom. So for me, because I'm embarrassed, on the one hand, I take myself too seriously. On the other hand, not seriously enough, you know. Sometimes just working long months here and there on a song and kind of feeling it come together, even though I don't know music, you know, but trying to make something that inspires myself. I a little bit inspired myself right now, you know, because it is the best I've done. It's the best I've ever done. It's like I just placed in a track meet, you know. It was a personal best as far as performance, and it was like a team success, and the part of the team of my ambitions. The team of my ambitions as governed by the goal that I train them toward. So it was a political success with significance, right? Because we blame politics this, politics that, but sometimes the product of politics, and actually a lot of the time, the product of politics is good. We take roads for granted. And the people who build roads are the toughest motherfuckers on the planet. They're working, 5 in the morning till 7 at night. Sometimes it's not like 2 shifts. Like, dudes are working like 16-hour days, laying hot asphalt. See them with the torches, filling cracks on that hot machinery with hot tar on a 100-degree day. Never mind flaggers. I flagged one time for sometimes we worked 13-hour days. Usually it was 12. And I only did this for maybe a year total, off and on. Probably not even. And not even seeing the work in the middle of nowhere, flagging in the rain with no like relief. It was just me with the flag all day, standing in one place on a not busy road. So it weren't cars coming and going, it wasn't demanding my attention. Not to mention that, imagine doing that 10 hours a day, making sure everybody's safe, having to be on point every second. You're not in some office where like you can go here and go there and do this and do that. No, you gotta be on point. People's lives are at stake. For real. That's a tough fucking job, flagging, man. And I remember standing out there for like however many hours it was. To me it was 13, but it was probably 11. And the dude who was doing the work, it was one dude in a bulldozer, he was kinda in the road, and he was digging around the corner from me. And the guy I was on the walkie-talkie with, what I remember is just being a kid when I grew up. There's some dude who sometimes used to just kind of be there, maybe sometimes in places he shouldn't have been. And that includes me. And he was always nice, you know, good guy, funny, good sense of humor. And I didn't appreciate him for being on the other end of that CB the way I should have, or whatever it's called, but you know, it was a CB frequency thing. Walkie-talkie, big one, you know. But he was always cracking jokes, being funny, and really friendly. Never had a bad day, never mad, ever. Not ever. You know. Often the kind of people that people discount, like the jolly fool. Not even a fool, just the jolly guy, happy-go-lucky, Joe Schmo, happy-go-lucky. Not Beavis or Butthead, just but really he's an incredibly smart person. And like how nice, he just had a good attitude, you know, and I was lost in these high-minded things while I'm like trying to stay awake for 11 hours in the rain, which is probably what it was that day. By myself on a road where maybe a car might come in the next 15 minutes, you know. And then like, I gotta go pee, you have your lunch right beside you, you're just standing there. It sucks. And getting through something like that does require, like, that's meditation, that's practice, that's like, you know, if you're a flagger, you're like 3/4 of the way to being like, you know, maybe not a Zen master, but a Zen manager. It's a massive achievement. But the dudes who make roads, man, because we piss on politics, but we gotta go here, we gotta go there, blah, blah. And we talk about like Elon Musk, as we should, massive, you know, achievements, all that kind of thing. I don't think we should always just criticize people, man. We're on this hamster wheel. We're on this crazy train, but it's still on the tracks. It's fucked up, but it's still on the tracks. The railroad. But the job isn't to disassemble the railroad, metaphorically. It's to build more rail. Faster, more efficient, better structure. Maybe begin thinking about things a little less like this and more People criticize roundabouts, but what if everything was more of a roundabout? Because roads are like this, like this, like this, and sometimes there's these little roundabouts. And now roads aren't even like this and like this. This one goes this way. This one goes, in shopping malls because of COVID. You go here, you go here, you go here, you go here. I remember I watched this documentary. I feel like it was about Brazil, like, I don't know, 20 years ago, 10 years ago. But it might have been a different country where they like restructured the directions of the streets in the cities, and it made things more efficient somehow. I don't know. Somehow it improved like public life and the congestion. It by creating essentially one-way streets every other, they like released congestion, which is an interesting idea that by restricting freedom, ease. By restricting freedom, though, in a rational way, it wasn't the restriction of freedom that created the ease. It was the particular pinpoint bullseye of the structure that elevated. It was essentially the mathematical insight that relieved the structure. What was it? It was called a convenient truth, as opposed to Al Gore's algorithm, an inconvenient truth. This movie, I think, was called A Convenient Truth. It was subtitled in English, so I don't watch it much, because I hate to read while I'm watching a movie, because I'm a dick. And I'm dumb, Please forgive me. Please. I'm sure you're dumb in your way. I wish I knew what you knew. If you can roll an R, man, you're my fucking hero. I worship you like a god. What more do you want from me? That's a good point to end on, because I rarely end just kind of happy. I don't know what you're doing, but thank you for caring, and thank you for seeing that I care. Otherwise you wouldn't be here. And that means you can see that I care. And I'm so worried. Isn't that weird? I want to know that my care is true. It causes me great distress that I question myself. Are my intentions true? Do I really care? Yes. And every so often it's a great gift to be put in that place, at least occasionally, where we can say that. Thank you. I mean it. I don't say thank you maybe as much as I should, or maybe too much. I don't often say it when I feel it. think a lot of the time I mean it. But almost never when I feel it. It's just nice to be reminded of it. I misrepresented the yin yang in my root 2 discussion the other day. I think I called something 2 minus root 2 when really I had things a little bit wrong, where the hypotenuse was 2 and well, as it turns out, I believe now one of the sides is the square root of 2 plus root 2, and the other side is the square root of 2 minus the square root of 2. Square root quantity 2 plus square root of 2 quantity. Square root quantity 2 minus square root 2 quantity. Those would be the sides of the triangle. 2 is the hypotenuse. Kind of interesting. And it comes up in the geometry associated with the negative square root of I, which we call I, but isn't I, it's I to the 5th. Somehow I to the 5th and square root quantity 2 plus or minus root 2 quantity as associated to 2 in a triangle is tied up into a circle separated into 8. Quantum this, replicant that, Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad. Those are enormous questions compared to the little thing I don't understand about the square root. So then it could be formulated as quantity 2 plus or minus quantity 2 plus or minus quantity as parentheses as the big one, quantity 2 plus or minus parentheses 2 parentheses raised to the 1 over 2 quantity to the 1 over 2. A lot of 2's there and some 1's. So the silver ratio. And I'm big on Dorothy right now, who got the ruby slippers in the movie, which is the only thing I know I still haven't fully watched The Wiz because I know The Wiz is gonna blow my mind, and I gotta be in the right place for it. It's gonna be a special day when I watch The Wiz. It's gonna be a special motherfucking day, man. But, and also, yeah, the book. I only know about the book from Bill Still, who talked about money. But in the book it was silver shoes. So then you're talking about the silver ratio. And then you're talking about the plus or minus 1, plus or minus root 2, over 2, but over whatever. And so that's the silver ratio, and my understanding is the root 2 ratio is somehow different, and that has more to do with Japan. I think I heard that on a number file video from the redheaded dude, but I could be wrong about that. But yeah, the silver ratio. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. Silver and gold. So then you're dealing with plus or minus root 1, plus or minus root 5, and plus or minus root 1, plus or minus root 2. Which are opposites of each other. And make 8. And 2 of the root I is I. 5 of the root I is negative root I. Anyway, I misrepresented that the other day, but hopefully I still kept to the spirit. Like I said, I'm 80% wrong. At least, I'm between 90 and 80% wrong. Saying that I'm 80% wrong is just kind of like I'm propagandizing to myself that maybe I can be smarter than 90% wrong. I'm trying to up my game. I'm trying to precondition myself by saying that I'm 80% wrong, even though I know I'm way more than that wrong. But maybe it's possible. I have to at least create that space. Maybe it's possible. I can be more loving in my heart, innocently, in the places that it's safe to do that, which is a lot more places than we suspect. I can't remember the other points, so that's it. Thank you. Just thanks for being here.